What up YouTube, we're back with another YouTube reaction video. In this video we're gonna react to something a little different. Supposedly a transgender shot inside a hockey rink. And this came on my feed on Twitter and I want to share about it, share my thoughts on it. And it's pretty crazy how it's always a trans, always doing something violent as what I've been seeing so far. There was another accident that happened, I believe in Minnesota, I think, of another trans that shot, I believe inside a school, something like that. Not really too sure about that incident, but I heard about it. So this is very disturbing, and that goes to question, like, why are they so violent? You know, why they unleashing so much anger? Why are they taking other people's lives? And this is something we gotta dive deep into. Reason being because end of the day I feel like it's demonic. End of the day I feel like they don't feel like they have a purpose. They feel very hurt inside, so they want to lash out on other people and take other people's lives. And it's one of the things that I notice about, from my opinion, me personally, that you shouldn't change what God created you to be. Don't ever think you're in the wrong body. That's the confusion from the enemy. That's Satan. Satan wants to confuse you, make you think that you're in the wrong body. God created you to be that way. But yeah. To react to this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, comment what the videos you want to react to. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let's see this. First, we're gonna check out the incident, and then we're gonna see from the reporters when they talked about the incident. Like, why? Guessing they went. I'm guessing they were not. I guess the trans over there. I'm guessing. Where's the shooter? Crazy, chat. Crazy. What was the purpose? That's what I'm saying. Is like when you go to like events, you can't even go to an event without getting shot at now. That's what I'm saying. So much chaos, so much violence in the world today, so much evilness. Let's go back. Let's see. They went over there for some reason. Wow. Insane, chat. Let's check for another point of view. Let's check from here. Let's check this one. Oh, where was the shooter? Yeah, this is sad, chat. This is honestly sad. It goes to show you. It goes to show you this type of people. They just don't care. They don't care about human life. They don't care about their next door neighbor. And this is like truly demonic behavior, for me personally. And reason being because you gotta be soulless, you gotta be heartless to just take other people's lives. People that do nothing to you. You just gotta be a soulless being. But you better check out what they have to say.
It was a terrible tragedy and an act of senseless violence that we're all dealing with and we see all too often throughout our country. Family and friends were gathered today at a hockey game at Lynch Arena to celebrate the senior night, bringing together communities from across the state. Instead, an act of senseless violence has taken the lives of two innocent victims, with the suspect taking his own life. 3 other victims are now in the hospital.
That's one thing that's one thing I understand. Is like they do all that. They do all that, chat, just to take their own life. How can you reason with those type of people? How can you reason with people that don't care about their own lives? It's crazy out here, man. That's we gotta pray for these. We gotta pray for these people that's truly hurting inside and don't feel like they have no purpose or no purpose in life, and they just want to unleash anger and violence onto others. And that's something the devil. That's what the devil wants. He kill, steal, and destroy. That's all his objective. So I'm guessing using these people pretty much to destroy other people's lives. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Fighting for their lives. Our prayers go out to the victims, to the families, and everyone impacted by this devastating incident. I understand the media and our community want answers about what happened, and the Pawtucket Police Department, in coordination with the Attorney General's office and other law enforcement agencies, are in the middle of an active investigation. They have already interviewed more than 100 witnesses and are reviewing multiple videos of the shooting.
I can turn your wildest ideas into a song. Just describe it in a few words, choose a style, and let Mareka...
We are all committed to transparency and will share more details as we get them confirmed. You'll hear from the chief in a couple of minutes. I have a couple of updates from earlier today, and that update will be the last that we have for this evening, and hopefully we'll be able to update you some more. This here is also about working with the victims and working with the state. We've talked to the governor's office, the attorney general's office, and working collectively with the state. They have set up 211, the number to provide counseling and referral services. Anyone impacted in today's incident should call 211. The trained professionals are available to address both physical and emotional needs, and recognizing that healing takes many forms. Additionally, we will be opening tomorrow the Blackstone Valley Visitor Center, located at 175 Main Street, at 12 o'clock to 7 tomorrow, and then for individuals who were present during the shooting and their families for grief counseling. Pawtucket is a resilient community, but tonight we are a city in mourning.
Wow.
We encourage everyone, students, parents, educators, to lean on one another for support when the situation unfolds.
Doesn't make no sense.
Together, we need to embrace resiliency while we're fostering the environment of compassion prevails overall. We will do our best to keep the public and the media informed as the investigation unfolds. Finally, and I'll know the chief will also go on this, if anyone has any information relevant to today's shooting, we've seen all these videos, please call the Pawtucket Police Department who are handling the investigation. The number is 401-727-9100. I'd like to turn it over for the chief for a minute.
Good evening. So today, Pawtucket Police received a call for an active shooter about 2:30 p.m. Police were on scene within a minute and a half of that call.
Is the chief? But she's like 4'9". Are you serious right now? That's... Don't continue though. I'm saying I was gonna leave it at that.
It appears that a lone individual, the suspect, entered the arena to watch the hockey game of a family member, and unfortunately during that time a shooting occurred. We have confirmed that the suspect is now deceased. Also, there are 2 victims that have also been confirmed deceased, and then we have 3 victims that are still at the hospital in critical condition. We have worked tirelessly with local police departments here in the state, also our federal partners and our state partners with the Attorney General's office also. We have given you the information that I had earlier today. I can tell you that we have interviewed people that were in the stadium watching the game, participating in the game. We probably had about 100 people within the station that we talked to. We can also tell you that a Good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in this scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event earlier today. So at that time, like I said, we have more information as the time goes on. We'll be able to share that.
That's the thing. That's a question we have to have. Like, that's you gotta question it. You know, you gotta question is like, why they take out the people's lives? Why are they so violent? What is their motive? It's like, are they doing this for an act of revenge? Are they doing this because they just don't like people? Like, what's the point of taking two innocent lives and injuring 3 others? Probably could have killed more if that guy would have intervened. Yo, shout out to that guy that intervened. My guy's a superhero, for real. If he had not intervened, bro, he probably would have took more lives. Virtual warfare, man, I'm telling you.
With you, I did share with you earlier today the information we had at that point. The only thing we have to add again is that we have interviewed many people that were there. We're also accepting videos it was live streamed videos from parents that were videoing their kids while they were playing the game. So we ask you to obviously take those videos, forward them to the detectives. It's Detective Webb, like the mayor said, 401-727-9100, extension 1711. We also have 211 set up for any kind of emotional support that people may need within the city. Again, we're here to assist, so anything that we can do to kind of assist the community out there. And again, any information that you have that you think may be relevant, we ask that you share it with us, because again, we're not sure exactly what videos were out there and who was videotaping at the time, but that's the information that we have at this point.
That's insane.
Describe how this Good Samaritan stopped this person.
What I can say is that he interjected and he attempted to subdue him.
Did he tackle him, or?
So that is all part of, like I said, during the investigation, but I can tell you that a Good Samaritan did step in.
And did the shooter have a son on the hockey team when he was playing?
So again, like I said earlier today, I can identify that there was one lone suspect, that this was a targeted event. It looked like it was a family dispute, and there was one individual that was a family friend. But as for identifying this time, it's true.
What the?
Identify people, because obviously we want to make sure that their families are well aware of what's going on before we put it out to the public.
Did the suspect have interviews to?
Again, what I can tell you is that the suspect did have a firearm. As to how many firearms he had, that's all part of the investigation, and that information will be released later.
Were those firearms retrieved at the scene, found at the scene?
We did retrieve firearms on the scene.
How that person got a firearm?
Any type of
How, bro?
restraining order or any type of threats that this suspect may have made against any members?
So that has not come to our attention. During the initial stages of the investigation, we haven't seen that, but again, it's very early on. It just happened earlier today, so we are investigating that. We're looking at all avenues. If there was any motivation, if there was any type of incident leading up to that, we don't have any of that information at this time that we know of. So as that develops, obviously, we will look into that and fully investigate that.
Was the
Friend who was killed or injured?
Again, we're not going to release the victims at this point because, you know, the privacy of the victims and their families, but that information will come out later.
Initially, the thought was it was all members of the same family. Is there now a family?
This is Jen Spark. It's like having a full stack team in one workspace. Watch this. Build me.
It's very sad, chat. Very sad. It's people taking people's lives for no reason. That makes me wonder, there's gonna be more accidents like this happening? Crazy, yo.
Correct. Correct.
Was the suspect known to police at all? Have you guys had any prior interactions with them?
Pawtucket has not had prior interactions.
Was there any security at the arena, like metal detectors or security guard by chance?
No.
As for the suspect,
That's why.
Can you confirm whether the suspect's a male, female? We've heard that is a transgender person. Is that something that you have in terms of information?
So what I can say right now that we have identified the person, the suspect, by a birth name. The birth name was Robert Dorgan. We have also learned that the person does go by the name of Roberta, also uses a last name of Esposito. But again, that will be all confirmed throughout the course of the investigation. As to their status, that really doesn't have anything to do with the investigation.
Do you have an age? An age of the suspect?
1969 he was born.
Do you know if the gun was legally purchased?
Wow.
At this time, it's still part of
What
the
name is
investigation.
Robert? Turn to
So we will
Robert-
be
Robert-
investigating
Robert-
the
Roberta?
firearms, where they come
Roberta,
from, where
she
they were
said?
purchased, and whether or not they had a permit to carry.
Was the van that was towed away from the scene, the white van, did that belong to the suspect?
Anything that was towed from the scene is obviously, we believe that it might be involved in some way. So as part of the investigation, we are taking all precautions to make sure that we investigate all evidence that we may feel that was part of the scene today.
Mayor, have you been in touch with Governor McKee? Is there a reason he isn't here tonight?
Yes, no, we've been in touch. He's been allowing and I'm sorry. He's been supporting, as well as the Attorney General and many others. We'll be briefing each other tomorrow with everyone and probably doing a joint statement at some point. But yes, the state has been very active and involved, as well as many of the other mayors who are in these other communities. So we've been having those conversations, and we're sharing as much information as we can, and then we're all going to collectively get together.
I imagine you both can answer this question as far as the mutual aid that was tapped. I know there was a few different jurisdictions that were brought in, for as well as first responders. If you could speak to just the group team effort that it kind of took to process the scene and make sure the victims were treated as such.
So when the call initially came in, obviously we dispatched the police department, which I said was there within a minute and a half of the actual active shooter. And the fire department, once it was safe for them to come in, they administered aid, also with our police officers inside administered aid. I can tell you that most of the departments that responded for mutual aid were more administrative aid. They helped us secure the scene, they helped us on the outpost, and again, there were so many departments that came to our aid. It was phenomenal to see all the assistance that.
Yeah, also, chat, I'm going to show you another part of another transgender shooting that happened, that took place, I think, a couple days before. I'll say like probably 2 days before, things like that. I heard it from my brother. He told me about it. We're about to check that video out next after this one. And let me know if it's not demonic or not. Let me know if it's not. Let me know if it's spiritual or not spiritual. Put it down in the comments. But I think it's spiritual because, you know, the way that person was reacting, I'm going to see.
We had, whether it be our local partners, our state partners, and our federal partners. As soon as they heard a call for service, they all came. So again, tomorrow we'll be touching base with all of them, but most of them were on administrative aid outside of the scene. So that will all depend on the investigation, but at this point it is closed.
Can you detail any more timeline? Was he there for a while and then started shooting, do you believe, or did he come in?
So that's all part of the investigation. Obviously, we're going to develop a timeline, but at this point, it's too early on to be able to release that to the public. But we are developing a timeline of presence and how long he had been there for.
But you believe he had multiple weapons?
What I said was all part of the investigation, and then we'll determine that later. But at this point, we're not going to give up how many weapons the person had.
He died from a self-inflicted gunshot?
Correct.
What do the next 24 hours look like for the department?
So really, like I said, we're still at the initial stages of the investigation. So after we have spoken to many, many victims and witnesses today, we're going to obviously collect all that information. The detectives will meet together.
Crazy, bro.
We'll have a debriefing. They'll compare all the information. We'll reach out to family. We'll try to establish a timeline like we spoke about. Whether or not there's any motive, we'll try to talk to different people. So it's going to be a very busy next 24, 48 hours trying to gather the story, right? We want to make sure that the information that we're given is factual and it's accurate and that we're not going off of hearsay or things that are on social media. Unfortunately, because social media is so popular, things get out there that maybe necessarily aren't true. So we're trying to quell those kind of rumors and make sure that all the information that we're putting out there is factual.
Wow. Insane.
So the victims are at the hospital. We have detectives stationed there, but as of right now, we don't have statements from them.
Chief, can you confirm, was there a training for active shooter actually going on in the city which helped with the response?
So we did have an initial training that was separate and apart from this, a normal training within the city for a police department.
Insane. All right, chat. So you're about to check out the other transgender shooting that I heard about. Hold on, chat. All right, chat. So this is right here. 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootsiller has been identified as the suspect in the deadly shooting at Tumbler Ridge Secondary in Canada, where at least 10 people were killed. Tragedy debates upon mental health support, school safety, and care. Nah, bro, ain't no mental health. Get it? This is, yo, take people's lives. Yeah, that's completely demonic right there. Where he's laughing uncontrollably. You know, it's so it looks right here, chat. This is insane. Insane, chat. It's like, why? Why decide to take people's lives? You know, it'll show you, man. When you go to, like, especially nowadays, like when you go to events and you go places, just be very careful. Be self-aware of your surroundings, and you know, if something seems a little bit off, you know, something seems like something's gonna take off or things like that, man, just be safe out there. Because these times we're living under near end times, and it's gonna be more tragedies, more violence, and yeah, this stuff that's really, really bad for society. Which I think, chat, leave it down in the comments below. What makes you think they're doing these type of massacres, these type of killings? Why are they just taking people's lives? Which I think it is. From that video that I've seen, is definitely 100% demonic. That person was laughing and stuff. So that's my opinion on it. That's what I think. At the end of the day, for someone to take other people's lives, things like that, they gotta be heartless, soulless. They don't care about their lives. They don't care about other people's lives. Go show you they got no soul within them, you know, and like some demonic took over them. Very unfortunate because, you know, he probably went through some battles mentally, and he probably just felt like nobody was for him. Probably felt like he had no hope at all, and it all builds up to that point. That point they take people's lives. It all builds up to that. And that's one thing you gotta realize. These type of people, they make a choice. They make a choice and they can't go back. You know, they do like implants, you know, change the genitals, things like that. They can't reverse it. You know, that's one thing that's truly detrimental to one's life. And yeah, guys, let me know what y'all thought about that. It's pretty crazy, very sad. Just be safe out there when you're going to events. Things like that. Just make sure your kids are safe. Yeah, guys. Appreciate you tuning into the video. Let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. See you on the next video. Peace.